Alright, this is another full self-driving video. This is FSD version 12.5.4.1. I'm in my 2024 Model 3, Hardware 4, and for the whole drive I'm on the Assertive profile. For these videos, if there's anything that you think you'd prefer to see or anything request, just let me know. I can hopefully add that in a future video. Coming up here is something that old full self-driving would struggle with. This person running on the side of the road. I feel like before it would have brake checked or slowed down, but it continued there, no issues at all. And then here's a traffic circle. It's going to slow down because there's that truck coming. And then as soon as it passes, it's ready to go, takes off, puts on a signal, which is nice. It's still a little inconsistent on signaling in and out of traffic circles. That's something that I do hope gets fixed, because not a big deal, but it would just be nice if it kind of obeyed the laws properly there. This is a somewhat windy part of my drive that I do quite often, that I remember several months ago, being a lot more leery and uncomfortable with how full self-driving was handling it, but here it stays perfectly in the center of the road. I don't feel like it's too close to the edge at all, and that goes for in a little bit here. We're going to get to another windy spot, and before I would have taken over, and now I trust full self-driving to kind of handle it the entire way. So right here is quite a windy part of the road. It's kind of hard to see. I put on the cameras just so you can see how centered the car does stay. Total confidence in the vehicle. I'm never worrying about bumping off the side or going into the wrong lane. That is something that in old builds I would be a little bit more leery of, but in this one it feels really good. As for speed control, the speed is good here. It could be a little bit quicker. You can see that big truck is going quicker than us, so I mean, we're legally fine. We're going above the speed limit, but it's hard to know what the right speed is. Good approach in the corner. Takes it nice and smooth. So here's an issue that is still ongoing. This is school zone. It needs to drop to 30 and not go 20 over. So I disengage here. I slow down. Admittedly, I am still speeding technically in the school zone, but 35 is a lot more appropriate than 52 in a school zone. I know cops will camp and are happy to give you a ticket, especially if you're going 20 over. And then here's the issue again: the school zone is ended, and not until we get to another speed limit sign will it bump back up to 60. So right now it's trapped, thinking that it's 30. It's going to see this new sign, refresh at 60, but we're turning right here, so it hasn't sped up anyways. And so coming up here, I just pull over. I disengage so I can put in a new navigation. I had to go pick up cat food actually, so this is navigating to the vet. Not really busy roads because where I live isn't that busy, but this is the drive that I do, and it is helpful to have the car drive for me. So I do wish that you can see the stop line here and that we stop before it for sure. It would be nice if the car got to the stop line before it stopped, because I think that would kind of expedite things at stop signs and things like that, because otherwise the creep is quite a bit more before it can actually get up to where it needs to see. It does a good job creeping now. It's a lot quicker to get off and go, but I do wish it stopped just a 1 or 2 foot further than it is right now. You can see here it hesitates and then it goes, but overall really good. So I think here the car could have been a little bit quicker off the hop. It like stopped, that car passed, there was no traffic. It did proceed fairly quickly, but I think it could have gone as soon as that car passed rather than wait a second or two. This is really nice. It kind of takes that spot, goes around, comes up to the yield. There is a car coming on our left, so it's going to stop. It'll wait for that car to pass, and then as soon as it does, we'll proceed. So that felt very fluid and comfortable. And there's a Hallmark movie or something filming up here on the left. You can see all the cameras and whatnot out. Good takeoff on the greens. It doesn't sit and wait for too long. Basically, as soon as it goes green, it moves forward. I haven't noticed any more of the phantom braking since the .1 update because 12.5.4 was quite bad for that. So far so good. Coming into kind of like a tight area here to get into the back of the parking lot. You'll see we'll get kind of head on with another vehicle, and then full self-driving does a good job rooting around it. And then coming up here, I definitely could have parked closer to where I want to be, but I wanted to try out Smart Summon. I kind of give myself an excuse to use it as much as possible. So I find a parking spot in the back here. I do use the self-parking quite a bit, more for parallel parking because I genuinely can't do it as well as the car can. For backing in, I would honestly say I use the car self-parking maybe half the time, but majority of the time I'm doing it because I am quicker. You can see here, like it should have been able to do this in one motion, but it stops, goes forward, and then kind of does this a little bit slower than I would have done it personally, but it works. It was a perfect park job. And you can, while it's parking, like I take my seatbelt off, and if you have things, you can kind of like get ready to leave the car. That's kind of the one benefit to self-parking. So anyways, I'm self-parked here, and you'll see I'll run into the store. I did have the camera recording to show the Smart Summon, but I think it overheated because it was turned off when I got back. So here's the screen recording. Not much to see other than I do it and it works. The cell signal isn't that great here, so you can see the video feed is kind of choppy, but I was standing outside staring at the car, so wasn't that concerning not being able to see it perfectly. And once I was in the car, I am back in self-driving, pulling out onto the highway. Does a great job. Gets up to speed quick. And then coming up here are two kind of issues that happen on this road quite a bit that I drive. There's a lot of pedestrians that walk on this road, and there is no sidewalk. So generally, when I'm driving, I see a pedestrian, I'll slow down and go well into the other lane to give them room. Self-driving doesn't do that, and even right here, I don't know what it would have done. So I just take over, I disengage, and then it gets kind of awkward because the car in front of me is also slowing down, so I basically have to come to a complete stop to let this pedestrian go by. Um, I do wish it gave pedestrians more room if they're walking the road. Then here's another one. This car is always parked very close to the road. I point at it because I know what's about to happen. Self-driving slams on the brakes. I guess it thinks it's going to back up. I don't know. It's annoying. It happens every day when I drive on this road. But other than that, great drive.